Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 1, Episode 4. So last episode we had a pretty cool one. We had Fern learning the defense spell and different ways to utilize it and how useful it can be, right before she got plunged into a mission to go after part of the Demon Lord's army, Qual, the Elder Sage of Corruption, who got sealed away 80 years ago, but the seal was fading. He originally used this spell that could pierce through defenses and everything, which is why that defense spell was created in the first place. It was really cool information, and we broke the seal on him and defeated him. So he was defeated by his own spell. So very what's the word? Well, I can't think of the word. It's like fitting, right? It's a fitting death for him. Very ironic, I guess. There's a different word I was looking for, but I couldn't think of it. You guys will probably hear my dog snoring in the background if you already haven't noticed. She is snoring like a mother right now, so it is what it is. We also had some interesting stuff with the first part of the episode was where Frieren was going around and she always buys things that she isn't supposed to, so Fern was following her this time. She was looking for a sweet shop without Fern, but it ended up being she bought a gift for Fern and wanted to bring Fern to the sweet shop that she heard about, so it ended up being like a sweet gesture, and Fern stalked her for no reason. And I also really love sorry, I'm jumping around all over the place here, but I love that the spells can be so widely used in different ways, like how the defense spell can be like a bubble around you, or just something in front of you, or just little one little spots to directly block and conserve mana. It's really neat. So anyway, I'm looking forward to whatever this next episode's gonna be. So let's get started here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. We also got Fern's age, which she's at the moment 16, so good to have an age in case we have more time skips. We can kind of keep track. Alright, sorry, I was just enjoying the music. Didn't really have anything to say. 28 years after the death of Hemo. Last year was 27, so it's been another year. Can they use magic to clean it up? Ah, they talked about him before. Nice. Ah. But she accepted it anyway. Are never real. I'm surprised with magic that it would take that long to clean up. 3 months. I like that so much time is passing. It feels realistic that, you know, since they're on foot and everything, getting from village to village, and the things that they do take a while, too. Whereas typical anime stuff, it's like, oh, one day. And they travel across the world and solve a problem. In some shows. It's so funny how she's like so childish on occasions, but then seems like such an adult sometimes. I don't want to get out of bed. You're just realizing it. You've been with her for years. My dog is loud as hell right now, I'm sorry. I like how she just like full bodies it. I wonder how long they can do this for before running out of mana. You should have been burning it the whole time. You would have been warm while cleaning it up, right? And just keep adding the wood onto the fire. That was also a huge fire. It felt like they were moving a lot of wood. I'm surprised it takes them as long as it does. All this for a fake book, too. Damn. That's why she hasn't seen it, is because she can't wake up that early. Oh, that's funny. Oh! I hope they find a mimic that she gets eaten by. Damn. Why couldn't they do that with the other piece? Why were they taking the other parts out in little chunks? And that one, they take out the whole thing. It's fine. Maybe that one was bigger than the one they just pulled out of the water? I don't know. Ah, they can check water quality. Very pretty. That's impossible. Just what a reasoning. I'll just stay up all night rather than wake up early. What? It's kind of sad that, I don't know, it seems like she doesn't ever really enjoy herself, right? Forced her awake. Frieren's such an interesting character. Interesting. Maybe seeing the enjoyment in someone else's eyes could be something she enjoys. Yeah. It's about who you're doing it with. Bashing her. We have no religion. Pretty much like our current day religion. I think it's fine even if you believe to have some healthy skepticism. Nice. A lot of aspects of religion I don't like, but the way it's portrayed often in like TV show. Oh, nice transition. Is Frieren here? She is. I'm here to hang out. Hmm. Oh, nice. Indifferent is probably a good way to put Frieren's behavior. She heard that. It's those big ears. Ah. Bringing that up again. Maybe they'll find something real. I kind of speculated that maybe at some point in the show they'll find something real. I didn't expect it this episode, though. But whenever you tell me that pretty much everything in writing is fake, it makes me think that our characters will find something real eventually. Fern. She's like freaking out in the background. Ah. Cool. Did they use that spell to make the grapes sour? Is that what she was doing to the grapes? Or what looked like grapes? I guess it could have just been some kind of berry. What? What is Aizen doing? This show is so relaxed. Hmm. Uh, Interesting. Oh, and it's a her. Okay. Fair point. Well, I guess I didn't know that in this world, but interesting that that's how it started in this world. Ah. Same earrings. Yeah, she was in the opening, right? Oh, okay. Wow, so her master was the legendary mage. Interesting. An ancient hero. Oh, interesting. Damn. Someday you'll regret. Oh, shit. Well, damn. Hmm. Interesting. I mean, that's what Heiter said, right? Nice to see that Eisen has like come around to the belief where he originally just didn't believe in it. Oh well, shit. If you want to help me, go do this. Cool. Be interesting to see that area and if anyone inhabits it. Can't have been an easy battle, I suppose. I don't want to make small talk anymore. The look on Frieren's face was like diabolical in that shot. Hmm. Such a sad thought. Yeah, that is pretty depressing. I don't know why when anime fades away on someone laughing, it's always so funny to me. Oh, so this is where he lives, okay. Maybe there won't be as many, like, threats, I guess, if that's the right word. So maybe they'll be able to do it quicker. Or maybe it really will be 10 years. Alright. Well, damn. That was a good episode. Like, not a ton happened, right? But I mean, that's what the show is, right? It's not like anything like big and crazy. Like, obviously we had the fight with Qual last episode, but even that didn't take up much of the episode. It's such an interesting show because Frieren is such an interesting character. And the whole tone of the show, even Fern, like, I feel like usually your anime protagonists are like young, wide-eyed characters that are intrigued with a lot of the aspects of the world. And it helps the audience be intrigued with the world. But we're following Frieren and Fern, who Fern is a little bit more of the wide-eyed, but even her, she even has a little bit of those traits where like she looked at that sunrise and she was like, oh, it's beautiful. You know, it wasn't anything like big and over-exaggerated. It was just like, oh, it's pretty. That is it, guys, for episode 4. But yeah, but Frieren, it's like, she's like, oh, seeing a sunrise isn't worth me waking up for, and then even after she woke up and saw it, she's like that. I mean, in a way, Frieren's kind of similar to me. She feels sort of introverted, right, in a way, and it feels like she only really has fun when she's doing the things that she enjoys, which I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't typically find enjoyment, like, sometimes I will do things because people ask me to, kind of like how Fern asked her to wake up and go see this and everything. I'll go and do things with other people because they ask me to, but it's typically not, like, usually after the fact I'm kind of like Frieren was, where I'm like, oh yeah, just like I thought, I didn't really care for that. You know, if it wasn't for doing it with you, I probably would have never done it. So, it's a really, I find it, maybe that's why I enjoy the show so much, is because I find it so relatable. But it's also interesting how, like, lazy, I don't want to say lazy because she still does a lot of things, but there's, like, she has these moments of laziness, right, where Fern has to, like, wake her up and, like, coax her out of bed and give her food, or else she's just, like, very slow at doing everything. It's just, it's such a, in the way that she just travels around, she almost never smiles. I think they called her indifferent this episode, which I think is a good way of putting it, because it almost feels like she's, like, depressed, right? But I don't think it's that. Like, maybe sometimes she is, like, when sad things happen and stuff like that, but I don't think she's in, like, a permanent state of depression, even though she isn't always, like, overexcited about everything, right? I think it's just, like they said, indifference. She just doesn't care about it, and it's just, even, like, relationships they talked about, you know, like, the only reason she took on Fern is because Hyter asked her to. When she was young, like, when she was younger with the party and everything, she said, like, it's just a waste of time to take anyone with her because they're just gonna die. So it's like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of, like, Doctor Who, because, you know, Doctor Who in that universe lives for a long time, and he usually always has, like, a human companion with him that ends up getting older or dies or something and leaves him, and then he's alone again. And it's like, it's just like an interesting thing to think about, of, like, how if you have a long lifespan, how you would view, like, regular people's lives. I don't even want to say, like, regular people, because, like, she has her own people, right? Like, I imagine there's other elves out there. Now, I wonder why she hasn't found, like, an elven one, like an elven apprentice. Like, if she's, it seems like she does enjoy being around people, right? Like she enjoyed seeing the smile on Fern's face when Fern saw the sunrise. She seemed to enjoy her time with Himmel and the others, but it just goes away so quickly. She's like, why bother? So why hasn't she tried to get, like, an elven apprentice that will live just as long as her? I don't know. But it's just, she's just such an interesting character. I don't even know how to, like, fully put it into words. It's really, and I really like it because, like I said, it's so different from most shows where usually there's, like, there's at least one character that's just an overexcited, eccentric character, and we don't have that in this show, at least not yet. 4 episodes in, and it's just like a very mellow, chill feel where we just have these characters moving around. And I mentioned during the reaction that I like that time is passing decently quickly too. Like, it's not like everything happens in a matter of days. Everything in this show happens in a matter of months, pretty much. So, like, what, episode 3 was 26 years. No, episode 2 was 26 years after Himmel's death. Episode 3 was 27 years, and now episode 4 was 28 years. And they spent 3 months cleaning the beach, and they said they were only, like, a third of the way done, right? Which means it was probably at least another month, so they probably spent, like, 4 or 5 months there cleaning that beach, I'd imagine. So it's just, I really like that, because most shows, like I said during the reaction, it's like one day passes and they've traveled from one town to another and they solve the problem and then they're moving on, and it's like the whole anime takes place within, like, a week or two, whereas this one, it's already been a bunch of years and all that. So it's very cool. They talked about how, I think, I call it Flame. I call her Flame, but I think they say, like, Flamme is how it sounds like they're saying the name. But how her books are almost never real, but they did end up finding one. And also that Flamme was her master, Frieren's master. So that's really cool. And especially because they talked about this, like, legendary mage, right? It's like, I really do wonder if we'll ever get an actual, like, age of Frieren, because, you know, she said she hasn't been around since, like, prehistoric times, but yet she's been here since this legendary mage was around, and who knows if she, like, how long was she around before she met the legendary mage. But it's also really interesting how Flamme was telling her that you'll regret not, like, getting to know people and talking to people more while they're alive and stuff like that. And then she left that book there with notes on the afterlife already open to that page in, like, I mean, it ended up being a hidden location because the tree grew around it, but, you know, she was able to, like, it was almost like it was left there purposely for Frieren because Flamme knew that, you know, Frieren was gonna go down that path of, like, not caring about people and regretting it later, right? So, I also do wonder, because that was back when she was part of the party, that she said that taking on apprentices isn't worth it, right? And then after Himmel's death, she had that breakdown about not knowing him as much as she wished she could have, and all that. I wonder if that changed her at all with, like, Fern and all that, or if she still feels very indifferent about taking on apprentices. I'm not sure. But yeah, in that book, we learned of this, I actually don't know how to say it. I can't even read my own writing. But basically the heaven place, it's like Aurelio or something like that. The place where you can, like, talk to spirits, and it seems like Frieren claims that she was a very irresponsible woman. Like, maybe it's not real, but maybe it is. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if it was, so, like, a place where spirits go afterwards. And if that's the case, do all spirits go? Is it like, I mean, they call it heaven, but does that mean there's a hell in this world too? And so, like, is it only good spirits that go up to that Aurelio place? I'm not sure. But they have to travel, like, to the Demon King, or the Demon Lord's place, so it's going to be interesting to see that again. Apparently it's a 10-year journey, so it'll be pretty interesting to see that. I do have one thing I want to talk about as well, where, one, they talked about religion didn't exist up until, like, I can't remember the amount of time, but she gave an amount of time where there wasn't religion, and people just believed that, you know, there was nothing after death, right? And then religion came about. I guess we're probably never going to get the answer, but I'm curious what brought about religion. And I'm also curious about what brought along magic, because she also mentioned this episode, along with religion, they mentioned magic started as a fairy tale. So at some point in this world, it seems like there was no magic. And then suddenly magic was around. Or not suddenly, but maybe people, like, slowly developed it. We already know that, like, the defense spell took, like, years of researching the Zoltrak spell and all that. So magic has come a long way. But, like, I wonder how they discovered magic in the first place, and what was the world like before there was magic, and stuff like that. And I wonder how that, like, initial discovery came about. I don't know, it's just, like, those little tidbits. I don't know if we'll ever get more information on that stuff, but I feel like we probably won't, because most shows don't tend to go into that stuff, because it's about moving forward and the character's journey and stuff like that. Whereas I'm always interested in, like, the lore of the world. It's a fault of mine, because shows rarely cover it in the amount of depth that I want. But I'd love to learn more about what it was like before magic, and was it one person that developed magic, or were people suddenly born that had mana and could do magic? Like, what was the spark that started it? And it's like I said, probably never gonna get those answers, but man, do I love hearing about that stuff in shows like this. There was there was a little slice of life sort of show that took place in a fantasy world like this. But they had, like, ancient elves that had this, like, technology that no one has anymore, and it was almost like our technology. And it made me, like, have all these, like, theories that maybe their fantasy world that they're living in was originally our world that, like, crumbled. And kind of like, if you guys have seen I think it's Shannara Chronicles or something like that. It's similar to that where you can, like, they have magic and they have other races and stuff like that, but every now and then you see like a helicopter like almost fully buried in the ground and stuff, because at one point their world was ours and somehow it, like, some kind of like apocalypse happened that turned it into like a fantasy world, and that's the kind of stuff that, like, I want more lore on, like, how that happened, right? I need to go rewatch Shannara Chronicles because I think I've only seen the first season, and I think there's more than one season out. And I wonder if it ever goes into what happened to the world, right? But anyway, very interesting stuff, very cool show. I'm still loving it after 4 episodes, even though sometimes it feels very, like, simple and slow. I don't want to say slow isn't like a bad thing. I actually like it, right? So, yeah. Looking forward to seeing them go to the Demon King place. I wonder if that's going to be like I wonder if there's going to be threats and stuff like that that we'll have to deal with, or will they mostly be wiped out because we've already stopped the Demon King? We do have that one girl in the opening that looks like she has a very dark background and nefarious smile, and I think she's an elf as well. I think she had pointy ears. So I'm wondering if we're going to get some kind of antagonist by traveling through this area. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Hit that subscribe button if you guys enjoyed. Check out my Patreon. Links in the description below. Should be popping up on the screen. And I'll see you guys in my future reactions. Bye-bye.